So Yumi is just scaling for free. And obviously, if you get free scaling on these champs, they are very, very strong. I still sort of wonder, like, can Sivir play against this comp? Because I feel like Varus and Ashe outrange Sivir, right?
Yeah.
And then I feel like Wukong Camille is such strong engage. I'm not sure. It's like an interesting pick. I'm not a Sivir player, so I'm not gonna go too hard on it. But it feels to me like this is it's a tough game to beat any AD carry, to be fair. But I feel like a short range one, yeah. I don't know.
And it does feel like for, I guess, all of Frank Esports, really, they need to be very vigilant, especially in the mid game, you know, with all these projectiles flying out. A lot of it is going to ride on how Kino does when he fires his ults, and, you know, whether he's able to find those cheeky little stuns, especially on Pretender, because they really don't have much by way of protecting him. But thankfully, we are heading into the Rift. Once again, 5th and final game of tonight. You know, all the other games today, they have been really good, and we've seen some obviously very interesting picks, and that's going to be no exception for this game. I don't want to mention that's foggy on the Rift again, because we did that all of week 1 and they got a little bit stale, but we are back on the Rift. Frank Esports versus Megabank Beyond Gaming. Let's see who's able to take out the win. Frank Esports is 2-1, you know, BYG 1 and 2, so both teams really looking to try and claw their way up into those higher rankings on the standings.
Okay, so it's the Lethal Tempo Varus. Oh, we're having something going on. Okay, Lethal Tempo Varus and Alacrity. So this should be on-hit Varus, I'm assuming.
Okay.
So that does give them a pretty good way of dealing with Sedge and Cassante. Like, I kind of like it. There's the Yumi stain there that makes your poke a bit more difficult, and they just have 2 tanks, right? So I actually think going the on-hit Varus this game does make a lot of sense. And I think, like, between Varus and Swain, should have a reasonable time
and you
killing
still
the
have the
Cassante.
Ashe force that extra utility as well. I guess the only drawback of that is that, you know, it gives Eminem 1 more person to hit, because he's not going to be 2 screens away firing off his arrows, right? He's going to be up close and personal. He has opted for the Ghost as well, whereas Eminem has Cleanse instead, which does feel like a necessity in this lane. Wow, this is an interesting stuff from BYG. Actually walking straight in, Kino dropping the Hail of Blades attacks and dropping Eminem very, very low, forced to pop one of his potions, but Kino also taking a lot of damage on the back end of that trade.
Okay. So Hollow is going to be closer. Is potentially pathing for the 3-camp bar.
Yeah, and it has been something that we've seen from a bunch of different teams, actually. You know, the 3-camp clear, especially on the Sedge as well. And it has been pretty successful. Seems like teams generally don't really expect this, so I wonder if he'll try and go for that.
Yeah, they don't actually have a ward up between them. They use a ward at level 1, and Kino has a red trinket. They are pushed. Okay, so...
Ooh, the Hawkeye does come out.
Yeah, it's going to spot it.
Yeah. Okay, so Hollow is actually pathing up top. I guess they would have found that out regardless, so I guess pretty good heads-up play from BRG. They must have been aware that, you know, they would have the Hawkeye available level 2 to figure out where Hollow's passing. We're going to turn out pretty well for BRG. You know, they get to be left alone in the spot lane and hopefully continue pressuring Eminem and Kaiwing.
Yep, so they're building up waves here. They might actually look to dive bot. It's possible.
Well, Kongya is in the area.
Yeah, they might bring him down if they can get more damage out, because the problem is that they are at a mid TP deficit.
Oh, Kino taking so much damage. He's got no more pots now as well. This is a bit dicey for him.
They're going to try. They have a big built wave.
Yeah, they're shoving it in. Kino does have heal available as well.
Well, they just used the arrow. I'm not sure about that. I think they might just be playing to get Pretender's TP.
And Kino's gobbling up every skill shot available.
Kino's just going to die.
Jumping straight in, and TP forced out. Kongya does make it out as well. So pretty well played from BYG there, you know, making sure that they're not overcommitting, forcing Pretender's TP, and 1-1-1-6, going to be able to get a bit of a CS lead.
Yeah, that's really, really good. Hollow's going to mess this wave up for Swain, though, which does feel pretty bad. But getting... Now, normally, if you're playing without TP mid, you're expecting to fall behind at least a little as your opponent gets a much easier first base.
But actually stays.
Ooh, okay. Big trades.
Solo kill on the Cassante. We'll see if he can have as big of a performance as he did last time when he was on this champion.
Hollow is nearby.
Sorry?
Hollow is nearby. He might look mid, just going to sweep it.
If he looks for anything, he's just gonna walk back 3 to his Raptors. Oh, actually, wow, nice dodge. Props for that. I thought he would get hit.
Yeah, they might bring support mid, just to kind of help fix the wave. Top lane, still a fair amount of mana here for Lakai. I wonder if you just help push this in. Ooh, maybe steal some chickens?
Oh, I don't think he got any there.
I got one CS, yeah. Okay, nice, good hustle.
An honest day's work. BYG not picking up too much so far. Seems still very stable.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a slow early game. I feel like neither team is, you know, so bad scaling wise that they really need to force something. I actually think both teams scale reasonably well here. Like obviously there are like windows of early game strength from stuff like the Varus, but you know, given that you're building on it, still scale reasonably well. And actually,
Hollow's here. Might actually force out some summoners from Feng. He has the flash charge. Feng flops both summoners in return, but they're going to try and kite back and get as much damage on the back end of this as possible. Highwing dropped very low, but pretty good from Hollow.
Yeah, reasonable trade though on the back end, and has Vamp Scepter and 2 biscuits, so can probably stay in this lane long enough. Swain's actually going for the Rod of Ages, which is sort of surprising. Most Swains at the moment do just rush Rylai's and then build Leandries. But here actually opting for the Rod of Ages, I'm not sure. I mean, I still think it's probably better once you finish stacking it, but obviously it does make you weak for a pretty long time. So it's definitely a strong option as well. Probably going to go for the Roa Rylai's or something.
They're really bad. I would have thought the Leandries would offer more value in this game against stuff like the Sedge and the Cassante.
Yeah, it's definitely more damage. There's no doubt about that, but you are going to be taking a lot of damage. I'm not sure. I think the Rylai's Leandries is a better build overall, but I don't hate the Roa. It's not like Roa Azir that we saw earlier today.
Yeah, true. And they do actually have some decent damage dealers on their team as well, so I guess just looking to be more of a disrupting force rather than the main DPS.
Yeah, BYG, they pick up the first drag. It's also a mountain drag, which is pretty nice because there's going to be a lot of resistances built on this team. And the first dragon, having a Swain, does feel kind of nice.
Oh yeah, going to be forced off the Scuttle Crab.
Okay.
Bit of a bullying on the Rift. Hollow and Pretender. Oh wow, Keno actually dropped very low. I don't know how that happened, but Eminem. Oh, actually Kaibing picks up that kill.
Feng still has all 3 of his cookies.
Oh, why are you basing there, my friend?
No.
Hollow.
He's going to get quick scoped.
Oh, Hollow actually doesn't go for it. Looking for Kongyu instead. Doesn't pick up the Grom. Kongyu actually picks it up. Hollow going to chase on this as well. Has the ultimate available.
I think he's...
Oh, pops a flash, but he's still dead. That was a
okay, yeah.
this dodgy flash.
That was a bit of a yikes from me, Scoob. That was... I mean...
Zoinks.
Yeah, he... Oh, man, what am I watching there? 'Cause I don't know what to say.
Let's have a look at how Keno dropped this low.
He just gets flashed on, and I guess he doesn't have any subs and just dies.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
I don't know. And Feng, he still has these 3 biscuits. I'm not sure if he thinks Santa's coming to gobble those up, but he's just holding on to them.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, that previous gank from Hollow really paying dividends now. You know, punishing the 2-range bot laners with no flash. And you have to wonder why Keno's even that far up in the first place. And already we're seeing, you know, this Varus Ashe bot lane not paying off as well as they would have wanted it to.
Yeah, I think we went from being Lucian Nami haters to Ashe haters. I don't know, I swear Ashe is so broken, but yeah, so far hasn't really found anything. And the Sivir Yumi definitely just getting the opportunity to scale up.
Yeah, and Kaiwing using that early gold boost to actually purchase a lost chapter, so he's going to be going towards the AP build as well, which makes sense. You know, they don't have much AP on their side, but they have the extra damage. Feng, what are you doing there, my friend? He's got no summoners, gets pinned against the wall and taken out by Pretender. Hollow's there as well. Oh, wow.
Oh,
so looking on Leakai actually makes him tank a turret shot or 2. Good trade on his side. And that.
Yeah, okay, so I think Feng ended up there, I think, because they were going to bring their bot lane up to Herald. Now, the one nice thing about him dying was it meant they had no cooldowns to contest, but Keno, he found. He's just dead as well,
the
right?
Final chapter as well.
Dude, Hollow is just running around the rift killing people.
Yeah, what is it with these Chad Sejuani players, man? I suppose it's Sejuanis that are doing the most work, and Kyrie picking up that kill as well. We're going to accelerate their Ludens, which is actually very valuable, especially in this bot lane, right? Helps you match against the Varus and the Ashe poke. And I mean, not that that matters, Fang's not even able to get into his lane.
Yeah, I mean, this is real depressing. You're playing Varus and you're losing this much to Sivayumi. And there's not a whole lot more he can do here right now until his teammates come back to lane. Lost so much CS.
Yeah. And it's accelerating the Sivayumi even more.
Yeah.
It's a 3k gold lead for Frank Esports at not even 10 minutes into the game. And Feng getting chunked out so much. The Civ Qs, the Yumi Qs.
Oh
He's got the Vamp Scepter, and he's still holding on to those cookies as well. But
good for him. And Hollow might actually just look again. Feng almost has flash up, but he's so low that he could just die to some random damage here. And the gold lead is starting to build up.
That's a cliff.
It is. Yeah, I really like kind of how you were saying the AP Yumi. Like, obviously, pretty much the only AP threat on the team other than the Sedge damage, but also there's not great sustain on the other team, right? There's no Nami, and obviously they don't have a Yumi. So the only sustain is going to be from stuff like Shield Bow, you know, Rod of Ages. Definitely not as big, right? Like, the poke will definitely stick, which is pretty important because I think you can win a lot of these fights before they start.
Yeah, I mean, you got the Boomerang Blades, you got the Jace Qs coming out as well. They actually have a pretty decent poke comp and a good frontline to back it up as well.
Yeah, I'm liking Frank Esports' chances here. I think that a lot of this game rested on, you know, kind of like the top lane counter pick and the strong bot lane. Now, the top lane counter pick is a bit more of a time bomb, right?
TBD.
Like it hasn't popped up yet, but the bot lane, I mean, they're in dire straits. Again, they don't exactly scale bad because they're going the on-hit build, but they're, you know, you're still expecting Ashe and Varus to do a lot more early game than Sivayumi.
Yeah, Civ has already picked up her Kraken Slayer. Good on your Eminem. And the Dragon is going to be up very soon. And BYG, they are in the area and they've set up Vision quite thoroughly down the river as well. I wonder if Frank Esports are going to try and take this fight. 1116 has hit his Rod of Ages now.
Yeah, I think you definitely can test this. Even with Swain having a Rod of Ages, I think you're just too strong. Now, Pretender doesn't have TP, so you can't actually base and spend his item. Yeah, I'm not sure they want to start it, though. I feel like you want to either engage the fight or poke them off it.
Ooh, Hollow. Ooh, wow. Actually manages to dodge it. I thought that would have hit. Hollow going forward with an ult of his own. The last chapter, final chapter, rather, to follow up on that. Pretender getting caught out. Jumps in on 1116, but dropped half HP. 1116 is even lower, though. Hollow is chatting it up. Same with Eminem. He's just running straight forward. Meanwhile, on the back end, Feng's trying to do what he can. Double kill for Eminem. Kongyo going to run away. Tail between his legs, quite literally, because he's a monkey.
Yeah, that's really rough. I'm surprised that they tried to fight that, because I think that Rod of Ages being completed on Swain is like a little bit of a bait here, because Rod of Ages is only really completed when it gets 10 stacks, right? And yeah, like if you look at the rest of your items, no Mythic on Wukong, no Mythic on Varus, and obviously none on Ashe either. Meanwhile, on the other side, Sever was so strong there, and Yumi has really strong components. I'm surprised they felt the need to fight that. Have a look at how it started. So they missed the Ashe ult. There was a re-engage onto the Swain. Now, if you can take Swain down early in the fight, it kind of makes it difficult for him to just walk in and keep extending his ult, right? Because he's just too low to begin with. And Sever, Eminem, put out so much damage off the back end. There's just no threat onto him. He just gets to run at people.
Yeah, it feels like the Cyclone is the only thing that's stopping him. And the Camille, of course, but Likai obviously not around to try and help out in that fight. Top lane island so far, but on the bot side, definitely bot lane doing wonders. And not even the bot lane, actually, I guess every other member of the team.
Yeah, top lane has been a bit of a snooze fest. It always feels bad to be a scaling top laner while your team kind of falls apart around you.
Indeed, 5 mythics picked up for Frank Esports now. 4.5k gold ahead. And a dragon to the name as well, so BYG not going to have that pocket drag win con either. They're really just trying to get, I don't even know, I guess some more items on Feng so we can start dealing damage and 1116's Rod of Ages stack. But other than that, we're still yet to see whether or not Likai's Camille will be effective, and it seems like that's going to be key in this game.
Yeah, I think at this point you are praying for the Camille win condition, because I really don't think it's ever going to come from 5v5 now. I think you're already at too much of a deficit. maybe they can look to pick, right? Like, as we were kind of saying before, they still have a lot of tools to pick people before the fight starts, but yeah, it's pretty hard to pick a Sivir.
Yeah, just look at the goal difference as well. All 4 members. Everyone is ahead of their lane counterpart on the side of Frank Esports. They've really been able to generate their own leads, and Pretender actually in the lead as well, which is pretty surprising. He's only got 1 kill, 2 assists, but just building up that CS lead slowly but surely.
I think also the support gold is massively in favor of Yuumi, and Yuumi is just already way outscaled Ashe. Like, Ashe is now kind of useless in this game other than her ult.
Oh man, the poke. Oh, Kongyu does have a pretty good flank, and he hasn't been spotted out just yet, but I think Pretender might suspect something. Nope, he's still going to walk forward into the river anyway. Solo kill is around on the flank of his own, but Kongyu still hasn't been spotted. He's worried about getting spotted out by a ward, but there's nothing there. Oh, this could be huge for him. Gets cycling onto one. Leakai jumps onto him. Eminem deleted. 1116 gonna fall down as well. Pretender looking to see what he can do. Kino all on his own. And BYG running away. Feng. Oh, the summon area actually takes him down in the end. Killing spree for the catch.
Yeah, I mean, that fight, it started pretty well for BYG. They did manage to pretty much just one-shot Eminem, but they just don't really have any damage left. Like, I think they used the Camille, Wukong, Varus Q as well, and then after that, sure, the Camille's like your sustained damage here, but she's not strong enough yet. If we have a look at this, like, the engage on Eminem initially is great, but 1116 is just not tanky enough. He goes down pretty early, and then after that, like, what damage do you really have? Everyone's too low to hit. You kind of have to leave.
Yeah, props to Solico as well in that fight. We couldn't really see it on the spectator view, unlucky Feng. But he was really cleaning up the backline, forcing people out of the Baron pit, like out the back as well. Not only does that burn their summoners, but it forces them out of the fight too, and pretty much renders them useless.
Yuumi did the most damage in that fight.
2.2k damage
compared to Ashe's 139.
No, man. I'm so glad that that's not going to exist next patch.
It is disastrous.
It is, and it's only going to get worse for them as well. They really don't have any tools to be able to deal with this poke. Like, they need to try and, I guess, engage with an Ashe arrow from afar or find a flank for Kongyu. But even in that fight, he had pretty much a dream flank, deleting Eminem completely at the start of the fight, but that's just not enough.
Yeah, I think rapidly running out of options here for BYG. Kaiwing as well, going to build the Putrefier second, which really shuts down a lot of the healing coming from BYG.
Yeah, oh my god, Kongyu.
Wow.
He gets pretty much a quarter hit from that one Yuumi Q. I feel like at this point, Eminem is kind of like the bait, because you really just want the Yuumi to survive.
Yeah, yeah. Eminem carries her around. Oh, okay, so actually looking for an arrow onto Pretender.
Ooh, just barely misses. I don't know if... Oh, thumbs up. Rammus, you might gotta love that one. I saw one with like 2 thumbs up Rammus as well. I think it's a new one. Have yet to see it on the PCS stage. Killed, drop down in the mid lane.
They can maybe just play for inhib here, honestly.
Yeah.
Like,
Kongyu has an angle again, but forced to decoy away. So
the Herald died.
That was pretty quick. Pretender chunking out as well.
That was definitely a zoning ult.
Just a zoning ult, Copium. It's so funny that Kaiwing skews do the same amount as Jace.
Yeah, that is pretty depressing.
Kongyu is still looking on the side to see what he can find. Leakai is in position as well, but... Well, they are bunched up. This could potentially be an opportunity. Kongyu does have the flash available as well. Oh, but the final chapter just taking out Kino. I don't even know why he's that far up. And he dies with the flash up too. Red turret destroyed for Frank Esports, the inner turret. And the dragon is up as well, but they're really in no rush to take it. They're just trying to see how much they can get in this current map state.
Yeah, I think after this tower goes down, the gold lead's going to be up at around 10k.
Yeah,
at 18 minutes.
Not even the 20-minute mark yet. Leakai, realizing that they have no hope of defending these towers, trying to see what he can do on the top side. But ultimately, I think he's only going to pick up a few CS. They might try to look on solo kill here as well, but I actually don't think they have enough to kill him.
They're going to try, but...
Oh, he's running away from his tower.
I think he's fine.
Oh, yep. I wonder if Leakai's fine here. They're going for the 1v1. Leakai doesn't have his hookshot available. Solo kill is just going to keep going for it.
Oh, no.
Leakai forced the flash away. Hookshot does come back up, thankfully. He's going to... Somehow, after being the one who engaged on that, Leakai does escape with his life. And solo kill now might actually be in trouble. Has the unstoppable still. Dropped very low. It's pocked up by Kongyu.
Okay, so they get something
yeah.
at least, but it does feel a little bit like too little too late. And Solico managed to stall for so long there that they lost a lot of waves on the other side of the map.
Honestly, it did feel like a bit of an unnecessary death. I think he was just feeling himself a bit too much, trying to go for that 1v2. But when his all out runs out, he really is all out of options.
Indeed. 4 minutes on the next dragon. Herald's up in 20 seconds. And I think at this point, you know, Frank Esports is strong enough that if they want something, they're going to get it. And there's just not a lot BYG can do about it. I think, yeah, maybe just keep throwing Ash ults down whichever lane Camille is in and just hope Lakai can snowball enough to do something. But it's really looking difficult here. If you fall behind, especially as this bot side like Swain, Varus, Ash, it's really hard, right? Because when you're ahead on Swain, you know, you can stand the fight, you can keep life stealing. But if your team is behind or you fall behind, you just die so early that you don't even get to make use of your sustained DPS at all.
Yeah, things still yet to have an impact on this game, in fact. And Kino sort of having the same thing. Even, you know, with his Ash ult on a relatively low cooldown, he's yet to find any value from it. I feel like they need to start trying stuff out if they want to be able to have some way back into this game. But to be fair, not really many options at all for Kino, you know. As we said earlier, you can only really aim for Pretender, it feels like, and he's just off doing his own thing in the side lane, making sure to stay out wide clear of that Ash.
Yeah, I think it's pretty difficult for BYG to ever get anything done with the Camille. Like, you can allow her to push, but can you dive again? I don't think so. Only when solo kill is low can that happen, and it takes time for Camille to build that up.
Yeah, Frank Esports actually rushing in. They have the move speed from the plant, which means they're going to be able to gap close very quickly. Leakai on his own now, he's been completely abandoned by Kongyu, and he does get stunned up. Hookshot doesn't quite connect with the wall. Pretender picking up that one. Little extra cash for his back pocket.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty big kill, honestly. It buys solo kill more time just to kind of stay even with this Camille, and obviously shuts down Lakai's farming here. They could maybe even just like look to re-engage or perhaps even pressure Baron. They know that Camille is so important to this comp.
Frank Esports actually do take out the Baron relatively quickly, whereas BYG, they don't have many tools to stop it. Hollow looking for an engage, but doesn't quite connect with 1116. Gonna settle for the red buff instead. Eminem doing a lot of damage on the back end. Oh my god, the Yumi Q. He's not even building any more AP, which is surprising. I feel like he'd want to go for more, but I guess the Chemtech Putrefire value
I think it's
really
just way too good to not buy this game. He'll probably go Rabadon's after, though.
Oh wow, Kongyu, he's really having a rough time getting into his jungle. Goes down. Once again, 2 Kairing on a rampage on the kitten. Hollow might be in trouble here. Does manage to dodge that last arrow, and now solo kill is here in a 1v4 situation. Gonna walk that one off.
Yeah, the steed does not go down. Yumi just gets to free hit pretty much the whole fight.
Yeah, and actually finding a lot of value sticking on Hollow rather than, you know, damage dealer, because Hollow is the one really getting up close and personal and helping reduce that range for those floating Yumi Qs to really find their mark.
Kaiwing completes the Putrefire, so they're going to be really hard for any healing to come through in BYG. Eminem gets his base cancelled. It's pretty annoying. Now the third dragon will be up in a minute, and if you're BYG, you probably, I don't know, it's like you kind of have to give it and allow Camille to scale. At the same time, I really don't think you're going to get time to scale, so maybe just kind of Hail Mary it. Endo, there's a lot of people in the area. Will they look on him? Maybe not.
I think BYG getting a little bit nervous about the potential Baron threat here. Trying to regain control while they can, and while Frank Esports are off on their resets and resetting their waves. So the kill is going to start setting up shop in the bot lane as well as the dragon starts coming up too. And BYG really, you know, not much control at all. They've got some space to move around with on the very top side of the jungle, but Frank Esports are really nowhere near right now.
Okay, dragon is going to be up. I wonder if they just send a couple of people to like, solo or 2-mana. Yeah, I feel like you don't need to give up your bot lane control or your topside control.
Yeah, it just makes it even worse with BYG. They can't take anything back in return for this. It's just going to be a free Chemtech Drake handed over to Frank Esports, and declaring Baron Vision as well.
Yeah.
It's a win across the map for them.
Now, 2 items has been completed on several BYG members. Kino kind of struggling to get his first item.
He'll get there eventually.
Yeah, Kaiwing, he's 2 items deep, so not looking good for him.
Holo just walking around and letting Kaiwing keep confused. There's 3 people on him. Arrow does hit. Does get locked down as well by the Varus Reaper. 3 men, the final chapter into Juani ult. Pretenders here as well, trying to deal damage. 1116 dropped very low, does get picked up by Kaiwing yet again. He's unstoppable on the Yuumi. Lee Kai might be next. Holo is going to keep chasing. The Yuumi Q does connect, and that's 3 members of BYG stuck on this tower. Pretender picks up Kongya, Kino, and Lee Kai fighting for their lives right now, but they're getting dove into their inner turret. No trouble at all for Frank Esports. It's going to be a double kill picked up for Pretender. Kaiwing, ooh, bit close to dying there, but you know, at the same time, not really. It's a clean ace for Frank Esports. Look at the damage. That just tells the whole story.
Yeah, once again, Yuumi, Kaiwing comes out on top. And also, that was kind of crazy. I mean, they engaged on Holo Sejuani when it was just the 2 of them in the jungle.
Yeah.
You know, they were showing members on mid lane. So BYG thought they could make a pick, but you know, Holo ended that fight like reasonably high health still. He was never really in danger of dying, just buys that much time.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, when they were trying to all in, they put themselves in the perfect position for a 3-man final chapter. I'm sure we'll see again in the replay.
Yeah, so I mean, look at all the CC coming out, but yeah, they just
right
stack up, and now there's just so much AoE coming in from Eminem's Sivir here. They just get chased down, and Lakai, he TP's in, but you know, Camille's honestly just not strong enough right now to make up for this kind of deficit. And yeah, I mean, you're getting dived under your tier 2 here. It's pretty horrible.
They think they're safe under the inner turret, but the Avengers assemble and Frank Esports clean up Beyond Gaming. And looks like they're going to clean up the game next as well.
Yeah, we know who the real support is here. Sivir only 8.7k total. Kaiwing, he's taken over. He's almost top damage in the game. Second only to Pretender right now.
BYG. Like, I'm trying to think of ways for them to make a comeback back into this game, but you know, Kino's arrows are pretty much useless. He hasn't hit a mythic at all. He's really just not having.
Wow.
He can't do anything.
Yeah.
And it's just not enough damage. I feel like Lee Kai is still kind of the only hope, but he's definitely not enough by himself to carry the whole team fight.
Yeah, I think they're
look
really
at the poke.
There just aren't any options for BYG here.
No.
I think your only chance is to hope they dive your Nexus or something.
Yeah, oh my god, the poke keeps coming. The Holo ult comes out. 116 forced to pop the stopwatch. Going to flash away and pop demonic. What is it called? Something demon.
Demonic Ascension, maybe?
Demonic Ascension,
I don't know.
that's the one. That
Is
sounds
it?
about right.
I don't think that's right.
Oh my god, Kaiwing is dominating. Picks up 116 in the middle of the minions with the Yuumi Q. He's having the time of his life. I feel like this is the true AP Yuumi experience. And Lee Kai is trying to proxy the minions, but there's just too many. 4 cannon minions in the base. Kong, you're going to get picked off. Cyclone comes out, but Frank Esports, they don't care. Anyone can be Frank. And I'm going to be frank with you. It seems like this game is all but over for BYG.
Yeah. BYG, I'd like to say they did their best, but I mean,
Lee Kai,
it was really rough.
Oh, he misses the hook shot too. Oh, he actually very close to picking up Holo there, but just not quite enough damage solo kill. Trying to pad his damage taken numbers. And damage dealt for Kaiwing. Do you think Kaiwing will have the most damage in this game? Okay, never mind. We'll talk about that later. And it's going to be the win for Frank Esports, picking up their 3rd win, joining the winner's circle. BYG, on the other hand, looking incredibly lost this game.
Yeah, I think even though some of the other games we had were, you know, it felt like they were kind of one-sided